Hi, I'm Amanda from Life Unravelled, and today we're going to unravel life's little mysteries. We're looking at discipline and the 4-year-old. Now, this is fraught with disaster, I'm sure. I'm sure you're sitting there going, I am tearing my hair out with discipline. What do I do? What is appropriate for a 4-year-old? What gives us the best results? Well, I've got to say that one of the best things that I have ever done with the kids is, and that works 100% of the time, is consistency and follow through. Making sure you follow through of what you say and being consistent. So let's look discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behaviour. Now, what are the behaviour expectations? Behaviour expectations is that someone will or should act in an appropriate way. Basically, we all live in the world together and we need to be able to live happy, healthy lives with others. Discipline helps us in our work, in our personal life, and being able to help others. So remember, at 4, children are curious, they investigate everything, they love life, they're confident, their personality is developing, they sometimes have a sense of humour, and boy, when they have a sense of humour, it is so funny. They can follow 3 or 4 sets of instructions. All these things they should have. They should be able to understand those sorts of life skills. But how do we discipline a child? Because it's important that they understand that there are rules that must be followed. And these rules help to keep them safe. It helps to keep an ordered society. And it also helps them to learn. So those are 3 very big aspects for the reasons why we should discipline our children. Because they haven't had a lot of life experience, we sort of forget that they can't make those decisions or look to the future. For instance, if I'm looking to the future, I have a huge past that I can look at and refer back to and say, if I've done this in the past, then that's going to happen. But with children, they don't have those concepts. They also don't have a concept of a long distance of time. So they may understand Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and when you say next week means that there's going to be those days that we have to go through. But for them, a day is such a long time. It's sort of like a week in our time. So here are the different discipline options that I suggest that you use. Distraction and diversion. So if they're doing something wrong and you can distract them, much better. Just ignore it and distract them and get them onto something else. Counting it out. That means going 3, if I get down to 1, this is going to happen. 2, you know that you're going to have to sit in your room when I get to 1. So what you're doing is you're giving them the opportunity to make good decisions. Time out. Sitting and thinking away from the situation is a great way. Rewards and positive feedback. Consistency of rules and responsibility in chores also help with disciplining your child. Let's go through them in a bit more detail. Give your child reasons to be good. So, for instance, rewards or charts. So if they clean their teeth every day, they get a reward. And that way you can use those rewards and you can use those charts to promote that positive behaviour. And that way, in some ways, cleaning your teeth every day is disciplined. Doing something every day is part of discipline. So if you're getting your child to clean their teeth every day, then give them a reward chart. Give them a reason to be good. Because then if they stop doing that, then you need the consequence. So the consequence of not doing something is really what we talk about as being discipline. The other thing you need to do is find their currency. What do I mean by that? I don't mean money. What I mean is, what is the thing that makes them tick? What is their most prized thing? Now, some of it might be iPad. So if you don't clean your teeth, then you will lose your iPad. Now, the other thing too is that it needs to be immediate. They need to see that it's going to happen. Not in 2 days' time, not at the end of the day, at bedtime. If you don't clean your teeth, you're not going to have your iPad for 5 minutes. Or you don't get your iPad till you come home, till we get home. Now, you may think that that's punishing me, but what you're doing is that you only need to do it a few times and then they will realise that you mean business. Discipline is all about them understanding that you mean business. So the more you follow through with your threat or your discipline action, the more you follow through with that, the more they understand that they need to comply. Now remember, you're getting them to comply, not squishing them and stopping their creativity or anything like that. All it is teaching them that they need to follow rules to live in our society. Now, we want our kids to be happy and healthy young adults. And in order to be able to do that, they need to be able to comply by rules. We don't want them running around and taking things from other people. So learning to share stops them stealing in a way. And so teaching them discipline now will help them follow the rules later. It doesn't mean that you're stopping them being creative or anything like that. What you're doing them is you're giving them a structure to live by. And we all love structure. So what is their currency? What is the thing that they love the most? I can remember the thing that my kids loved the most was going out to the park. But I knew that the park was so important for their gross motor development, for their academic life, for their own mental health, that I never ever used that as a currency because I never wanted to take the park experience away from them. So what I did instead was I created a currency. So they were able to watch TV, a show that they loved, every afternoon. And then what I found was I could always say, right, well, if you're going to behave like this, then you're not watching Bear in the Big Blue House. And then they could weigh up whether it was able to or not. My suggestion is never do a discipline that you're not prepared to follow through. Never say it unless you're prepared to follow through. Now that we've got them so that they're working within the rules, what we should be doing is setting the bar really high, giving them high expectations. And what you'll find is they'll actually rise to it. I teach many children who are 2, 3 and 4 year olds the violin. And everyone says, oh, I can't believe it. They're playing these little songs and they sound okay. That's because the expectation that we've set is this high. Now, if you expect their behaviour to be this good, then they will actually rise to that. And not only do they rise to that, you feel good and you show them that you feel good and they want to make you happy so that they will feel better. Now, they will push the boundaries. They will always push the boundaries. So these different discipline options that we have really help them to understand that this is where the boundary is and this is where you can feel safe. Make sure you've got clear, concise, consistent messages. And by doing those consistent messages means that your 4-year-old knows exactly where they stand within those boundaries. And when you're telling them things that they need to do, like if you're angry, keep your voice low and your pitch low and your body language calm. So don't go, oh, you are not going to do this. Go, you are not going to do this. Now, by going, you're not going to do this and being really angry, the first thing that they're going to do is their brain switches off. That's it. But if you go, you are not going to do this. That tells them that you mean business, that you're calm, and that doesn't matter what they do, you are very calm, and they are not going to win. Now, we don't want to set up a power play between the child and the adult, but I'm telling you, with a 4-year-old, there will be power plays. I can remember I was sitting in front of the Maya Centre, and my little one was going off like you would not believe. And she was moving her hands and moving her legs and screaming at the top of her voice, and it was driving me crazy. And I think I've told you about this before, but I kept my voice low and I kept it calm, and I stayed calm, and that was the important thing. And then she got through it. She worked her way through it. So it's important when we look at this discipline, it's the children working through in their heads where they stand with relation to the whole of society and the rules within your family. Now, talking about rules, we need to keep them simple. Don't make them too difficult. And keep them to only a few rules that keep you safe. And that way you're not going to have as many conflicts and discipline. Or just give them a few options. Making sure that the children do simple chores right from the very beginning means that they feel part of the community. They feel part of the house and the home and the family. And by feeling part of a community, you're more likely to want to fit in and follow the rules. So not only do chores help the children to understand what they're going to have to do later when they move out, so they will be capable of doing the dishes, they'll be capable of living happy and healthy lives by having those consistent things that need to be done in the home. They learn all that as a consequence, but more importantly, they feel like they're contributing to the family. So we're a team. The family is a team. Everyone has their things that they do to have a cohesive family unit. And that family unit could look like anything. It could be adult children who are coming home, who are seeing little ones who are part of the family, and everyone just joins in. I know we have family barbecues, and we've got boyfriends who come, and we've got grandparents who come, and everyone all sits in on a Sunday and has a roast. And everyone just sort of, people will take plates out, people will dish out food, someone will help someone and get a drink, and there's people moving around, but they're all part of the family and all part of the team. And being able to be part of that team really helps with discipline, because it means that children feel part of their environment. And you're more likely to do what's right for people if you're part of that environment. Thanks for listening to part 1 of Discipline. We've got 2 more parts to go, full of lots of information. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. This video was produced by Imagination Pty Ltd for Life Unravelled. All advice and information given during this course is designed for general use only. If you have any concerns for your child, please seek professional advice as soon as possible. For terms and conditions, please see website www.lifeunravelled.com.au.